Yo, yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle, that's Mike, here to recap July 31st action and look forward to Tuesday, the 1st of August, full 15-game slate.
August is here, man. So the deadline came and gone. Pretty exciting day, obviously, if you're a Yankee fan. But it was a pretty exciting deadline, I think. I mean, it's good having this. I feel like it's kind of been a little bit of much of the same recently since All-Star break. So it's cool to have some news to look forward to or to see as things shake out. Obviously, you were following the news and all. What was your big takeaway?
Darvish to the Dodgers was pretty big, obviously. Great of the Yankees. Other than that, a couple bullpen moves. Jeffress to the Brewers, Singrani and Watson to the Dodgers. Kind of washed up guys, in my opinion.
All pitchers, though. I mean, there really weren't any big bats besides JD Martinez that really moved at all in this whole month. It was all pitchers. It's kind of a testament, everybody can hit the home run now. So, bullpens are at a premium at the moment. So, definitely an interesting, and I think prospects are being held in more high regard than they were when I was, growing up. I remember this. I feel like anybody can pay for players now. It's not like you're giving up these big contracts for a bag of balls because people can't afford them anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think Yankees obviously put themselves into a serious contender role. Dodgers kind of solidified their contender role.
Yeah.
And
going for the record at this point.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
As usual, as on Mondays, we had a extremely weird slate. So,
Yes.
I was just wrong all the way around today. I wanted to stack Cleveland. Doug Fister was ace of the day. I wanted to stack Washington. Jose Urena was the number 2 pitcher of the day in terms of value. And I wanted to stack Kansas City. And Ubaldo was the number 3 pitcher of the day. And of course, I wanted to pitch Marco Estrada, and I got off of him and went to Mike Clevenger instead. I got a grand total of 1 point from Mike Clevenger and Paul Blackburn.
So that was a 20-point swing there with that decision. I mean, come on, Cleveland. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're gonna go beast mode for the whole month and then come to Boston and let Doug Fister bully you around? I mean,
doesn't make sense.
Come on, guys.
And I should have stuck with my gut. I said last night Washington's cold, of course. But like I said, besides that 8 home run game, and then I go to stack them today. Kansas City I was wrong on. And then I said Marco Estrada is going to have an amazing bounce back game today, and I played Mike Clevenger instead.
Amazing, maybe. I don't know if I would go there, but I don't think anybody really had an amazing day. Jose Urena, I think, was the biggest surprise to me. I mean, Ubaldo, he does his thing, but to me, the consistency of Urena it just continues to surprise me, man. I continue to doubt him too. But I think this was a fluke for Fister.
I believe
there's no other way. There's no other way to put that.
Estrada's first
4,500 on DraftKings. I mean,
Estrada's first 20-point game in 3 months. If you buy into that,
maybe. I mean, he's at least proven himself in the past, right? His confidence is gone. His mechanics were different, so there's reason to believe. But maybe he's the start of something new. As far as Fister, Jimenez, obviously flukes for me.
I just think it highlights the importance of matchups. Honestly,
matchups and base, yeah.
Honestly, I mean,
targeting.
Urena was in a decent matchup. Washington's been cold. Ubaldo was not in a good matchup. Gio was not in a good matchup. Marco Estrada was in arguably the best matchup of the night against the White Sox, who struck out 29% of the time in the last 7 days. So, I mean, that was the only reason I was ever even on him. And like I said, I think it just goes to show that, matchups are everything.
Yeah. Super wacky slate. I didn't think anybody was going to score. I think at one point, like halfway through most of the games, 9 of the 10 top scoring players in all of DFS were pitchers. Like, there was nothing being done. But it kind of woke up there. The bullpens did their thing, gave up some runs.
Yeah. Houston was the stack of the day, of course.
Of course.
Jake Marisnick, Derek Fisher, and Alex Bregman all made the top 5. Corey Dickerson in that same game was the number 2 bat. And then Marcus Semien with the grand slam against the Giants in the late game.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't take an extra look at Semien. I thought, now that I think about it, I was looking at Oakland. I did look at Oakland quite a bit, but I didn't really need to pay down. But, not that Semien was a pay down option, but, he seemingly would have been a good one-off at shortstop today. A guy that hits home runs against Matt Cain. Not many shortstops that really have power. I guess I definitely think I overlooked that play. Marisnick, 2,100 on FanDuel. I'd like to know what his ownership was. 30 times value. Good God.
Yeah.
Filled the stat line, man.
Killed it, man. Killed it. Well, we got a 15-game slate tomorrow.
Sure.
Starting with Cincy and Pittsburgh. I typically would attack Homer Bailey. Not a spot I want to go to tomorrow with Pittsburgh bats. Home versus righty, their worst split. Not a spot I want to look to. But Jameson Taillon is a pitch candidate for me. He's 8K on DraftKings and 7.4 on FanDuel. Cincinnati has been super cold as of late. Looking at the last 7, Cincinnati is in the bottom 8 of teams with a 333 WOBA and almost a 20% K rate. So,
yeah, I saw Cincinnati was the worst WOBA in the last 7 days. At 55.96, is that right? That can't be right. That's way too high. Anyway, that's probably OPS. Yeah, that's OPS. They have the worst OPS in the last 7 days. Pretty bad. Like you said, couple that with WOBA. All the offensive ratio categories, they've been really bad over the last 2 weeks. Taillon's coming off his worst start at San Francisco. That I was kind of on him that game, and he was priced up big time. Yep. But I'm cool with it because it made his price drop to 8K, and now he goes back to Pittsburgh to face a very cold division rival. So, yeah, I'm about the Taillon play. Hopefully the strikeouts will be there. He's kind of up and down with his case stuff, so that's kind of a concern with me with Cincinnati, but I think the ball will stay in the park. He doesn't really give up the long ball.
I agree with that. Then we got Detroit and New York. Anibal Sanchez, CC Sabathia. I do think Anibal Sanchez can be attacked tomorrow with some New York bats. And then CC, who we pitched last time, of course, didn't have a good game. No way I play him versus Detroit, who crushes lefties. So this looks like it's going to end up being a pitcher fade for me.
Not only do they crush the lefties, but they don't strike out, man. I mean, there's really no K upside for CC in this matchup. Obviously, I'm not playing lefties against CC. It's kind of a fade all around here. Sanchez, definitely think you can look to some Yankee bats if you're feeling it. I mean, he's their worst pitcher.
Yeah. Kansas City, Baltimore, Ian Kennedy and Dylan Bundy. Ian Kennedy continues to be a guy that's having a good season despite the high hard contact and high fly ball rate, high xFIP. I mean, numbers all show regression's coming, but hate playing that game in DFS because you never know if that's going to come in which start.
Yeah, especially with him, man.
So I don't find
you're playing with fire with those hard contact numbers.
Yeah, I mean Baltimore is cheap-ish, so there is places to go. Adam Jones back down to 3,400. So there's places to go on Baltimore if you want to attack Kennedy. not my favorite spot. And then Dylan Bundy. I mean, he's been bad in his last couple starts, but he's not a guy I typically stack against either. I do think he's exploitable with lefties, so if you wanted to go back to Kansas City today, I think it's in play, but I don't have them as one of my top 5 stacks.
No, I'll stick behind a game stack today. I think Baltimore is going to be sneaky. They actually lead the league in hard contact in the last 2 weeks, and they're in the top 5 in the last 7 as well. So it's not like they faded off a little, like too much. And what's surprising to me is that I thought Baltimore was, strikeout prone, and they're actually recently not been striking out at all. Under 18%. I'm looking at 16.9% in the last week. 18.4 over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah,
16.9.
That's interesting to me because I always felt like they were striking out a ton. So, the hard contact number at 37.5%. I mean, that is one of the top 5. So maybe they're getting a little bit unlucky. I don't know. This was a very strange. I mean, Duffy was a good play today, so maybe Ian Kennedy comes back and does it. I still stick to thinking this more of a game stack than these pitchers.
Yeah, right now I have myself fading this entire game. So.
It is a 15 gamer, so you got to pick and choose.
Carlos Carrasco and Chris Sale. I hate playing Indians versus lefties, so not going to be a spot I stack Indians for sure. They are severely priced down on FanDuel if you wanted to go that route. Chris Sale, 42% K rate in his last 3 starts. Dude remains a K machine. No home runs in that time frame. Pitched even better than his season numbers. 137 average against him. So he is seemingly a good play, but he's extremely priced up, and that's not typically where I go on any slate is paying up for pitcher.
Yeah, and why would you in this matchup? You know what I mean? This is the epitome of a bad K matchup. Cleveland does not.
Strike out.
What is that? 16% away versus lefties.
Yep.
That has got to be the best in the league. So that's just a testament to him fouling pitches off, and he's got a devastating slider. With Cleveland, they are 3rd best as a team in the majors at hitting that pitch. So even if they can't hit it, I think you might see some fouling off, and enough to take me off paying up for Sale tomorrow. This matchup is not what I'm into.
Yeah, I'm not going there. And then Carlos Carrasco is interesting. Boston has been heating up a little bit as of late. They are not as bad as they were in that Seattle series when we were targeting them. So I don't find myself paying up to Carlos Carrasco either.
Yeah, he's a gutsy play.
Max Scherzer, the other bona fide ace on the slate, getting another hot team in the Marlins and the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the last 7, you have the Marlins here at number 1 and Indians at number 2 in terms of hottest teams in the league. So 2 biggest aces on the slate versus the 2 hottest teams in the league. I think both those fade the pitchers for me. Not that they can't go out and have nice games, but I don't see the risk being worth the reward for paying that much.
Yeah, I don't see them significantly outperforming some other guys we'll talk about. I agree with you, man.
And then Chris O'Grady, I'm telling you, man, Nationals. Do I play O'Grady? He's 4,500 on DraftKings. That is a pure stream option, and 64 on FanDuel. I don't think. I hate playing a guy like him on FanDuel where you get one pitcher, but on DraftKings, he's going to be a severely low-owned guy. Nationals just aren't hitting well right now. I think you got to at least put him in consideration.
What perturbs me is that I would feel like this lineup is best when it's stacked with all his lefties, right? Or the switch hitters from the left side, except for Rendon. Rendon just crushes lefties. And if you look at O'Grady's stats on the young season, he's been limiting them. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think I'm going to play either side of that matchup as of right now.
Los Angeles and Atlanta. We have Kenta Maeda and Lucas Sims will make his MLB debut tomorrow. Austin Blair, I believe his name was, scuffled in his first start, so they're not going to give him another shot. It's going to be Lucas Sims this time.
Next man up.
I don't find myself stacking against Maeda. I don't know that he has enough K upside for me to play against Atlanta, but they have been bad as of late. So potentially a a spot to look at. Maeda's only 7,200 on DraftKings. Again, not a play on FanDuel for me at 8K, but 72 on DraftKings is in consideration.
I know. I think he's like making me try and reconsider my rule about this ballpark. I mean, Atlanta, we saw today, Nick Pivetta pretty much did whatever he wanted to with Atlanta today. And yeah, I think Lucas Sims, he's their top pitching prospect. They waited on this guy forever because he had such bad control issues in the minors. Last season in AAA, he was giving up home runs a ton. He had like a walk rate of almost 7, but he's seemingly turned it around since May. Everything has been going well for him. He's got strikeout stuff, 10 plus K per 9 over the last 2 seasons in AAA. So Dodgers aren't the spot to really go there, but like we said, against the first time seeing a pitcher, generally is a cause for concern. But Dodgers stay hot, man. Almost every offensive category they are at the top. So
their worst split is away versus righties, though, if you value it. So
interesting.
Lucas Sims, 4,500 on DraftKings, not on FanDuel. So for those of you guys playing FanDuel, he's not an option. But DraftKings, SP2 option.
I bet you he plays well enough to earn a second start. So maybe that second start, it might be where we go.
Yeah, I can see that. He probably won't increase in price too much either.
True that.
St. Louis, Miami, I absolutely love Jimmy Nelson in this spot, and his price actually went down on DraftKings. He was 8K last start against Washington. Now he's 7-8. So thank you, DraftKings, for that. He's 8-8 on FanDuel. I can still get there, no problem. And then Carlos Martinez at 9-1 and 8-8. I don't see how you don't take Nelson in this matchup over Martinez, other than the pure fact that Milwaukee has been ice cold.
Milwaukee's got a 30. Oh yeah, they've been ice cold. Let's just put it that way. No need to belabor that point with statistics. If you want it, you can look it up, man. They have been terrible as of late.
268 WOBA last 7, 25% K rate.
With a ISO in the last 14 of 125, but yeah, you guys get the picture, man. They've been bad. But so has St. Louis. St. Louis has been bad. You look at line drive rate, or you look at their ISO.
Only a 128 ISO and 17% line drive rate.
Yeah, they've been bad as well. So Martinez, however, his July was awful. 5.90 ERA, 2.2 home run per 9. He had allowed a home run in 6 of his last 7 starts. But I don't know. I think he's better than that. He's getting Milwaukee at the right time. I think he's going to be an interesting option. No one's going to be on. We know his ceiling, and he's severely underpriced from what we've seen him for most of the season. He's always been a guy right around 10K, and you can get him real cheap today against a team that's struggling. It's big time. So
definitely has K upside here, but he does struggle versus lefties, and a lot of power on this team comes from lefties, so I worry about that. But
severe splits with him.
I just can't pass up on Nelson, man. I locked him in. When I saw he was 7-8 on DraftKings, that was a lock for me.
Yeah, I would much rather play Nelson as well. But I'm thinking pitcher's duel here. I'm definitely fading all the bats. I don't know why. I'm just having a feeling about Martinez on a bounce back if he's going to be I don't know, at that price.
Arizona at Chicago. Arizona goes on the road where we know they struggle, and away versus lefties is a dreadful split.
Problem, yeah.
Under a 200 average for Arizona as a team, a 245 WOBA, and a 29% K rate. John Lester has given up over his last 3 starts a 135 average against, a 198 WOBA, and a 26% K rate. Everything points to John Lester being a good play tomorrow, and he's only 9.5 on DraftKings and 97 on FanDuel. That would be my pitcher if I'm on FanDuel tomorrow. I feel very comfortable with him as my only pitcher.
I hear you, man. I think that was pretty much those stats are pretty much the sole reason that JD Martinez is on this team. You know,
Yep.
we talked about him being the only bat that got moved. Well, look at the contending teams, and nobody's got that bad of a split away versus lefties. They really needed a guy, and so what did they do? They go out and get the guy that destroys lefties more than anybody else in the league. So I think they did a good thing with that. He will scare me if I'm playing Lester, but he's pretty much the only guy I'm afraid of, like him and Goldie, you know.
I agree. Yeah, there's no, not even really Goldie, man. I mean, I guess to an extent, but JD Martinez is really the only bat that worries me on Arizona. So, and then Patrick Corbin is an interesting play. I don't think I go there, but the Cubs haven't exactly been the hottest team. And, well, actually, I'm not going to go there. Not on a 15-game slate. 7,100, I'd rather pay up 78 for Nelson, and 78 on FanDuel. That's too expensive for his upside, and he's much worse on the road for whatever reason.
Yeah, Corbin's an interesting cat, man, because he keeps the ball on the ground. So I'm with you. I'm not about stacking against him.
We got Seattle and Texas. Erasmo Ramirez and Nick Martinez. Erasmo might be one of my favorite spots to stack against tomorrow. Do not be fooled by his last 14-day stats here. They're all bullpen appearances.
From Tampa.
Very limited sample size. I love Texas at home. What they've been doing as of late as well, the Rangers are the 5th hottest team in the league over the last 7. And what's great is their Ks are down. Only a 20% K rate. And a 211 ISO and a 359 WOBA over the last 7 days.
Yeah.
Love Texas at home in this spot against Erasmo.
Yeah, and those ratio stats are backed with the batted ball data. Second best hard contact percentage in the last week. So, about it as well. Seattle, on the other hand, has been one of the worst teams in baseball, striking out almost 27% of the time. Looks like over the last 2 weeks, striking out a ton. Now, unfortunately, we don't get to exploit that because Nick Martinez is pitching.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a wash on either side. I think I'm going to go some Texas bats, but that's about it.
Love Texas tomorrow. Texas might be my #1 stack. Tampa and Houston again. Chris Archer and Mike Fiers. Mike Fiers didn't have a great start last time, but overall his last couple months have been fantastic. Tampa, not as good on the road. Actually, their away versus righties is their best split, and this is a batter-friendly ballpark. Arguably one of the best batter parks in the league. And then Chris Archer on the road is still a thing, and Houston is still no team to mess with, in my opinion. So I will not have any shares of Chris Archer tomorrow, regardless of what his numbers have been. Not a spot I want to try and exploit here. I would rather play Fiers than Archer in this matchup, if I had to pick.
Yes, I totally agree with you there. Fiers, that starting in Philly didn't go so well, so maybe sign of things to come. But we've talked about his mechanic changes, so I think there's enough for me to buy into what he's been doing this season. So against Tampa Bay, no worries here with me and Fiers.
Yeah, I kind of like Fiers. Let's see what Tampa's been doing last 7.
Striking out most in the league.
Where they at?
30%.
Yep. 20, you're right, 30.7% and only a 293 WOBA.
Yeah.
So bottom 6 team in the league last 7 in terms of WOBA. Definitely like that spot for Fiers.
Yep.
Toronto and Chicago. Can we exploit Chicago's lack of team at this point?
Yeah.
Marcus Stroman.
Chicago AAA.
Yeah, Marcus Stroman got ejected last start. I think he comes back.
He did, yes.
Vengeance today. Still not enough K upside for me with Stroman, so I don't think I go there. But I do like his floor. I think he's a good cash play.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get at. I think he's definitely a good cash play. The White Sox are bottom 5 in hard contact last 7, line drive last 7, K percentage last 2 weeks, last week, OPS last 2 weeks, WOBA last 2 weeks. Yeah, they've just been, again, this is the Charlotte Knights, not the Chicago White Sox anymore.
Pretty much.
That's their AAA affiliate. So they should just pack their bags and head down there, in my opinion. But, yeah, the K rate is kind of concerning, but this could be one of the better K matchups on the slate. So you look at what is his ceiling as far as Ks, Stroman. I looked into it. He's had 8+ Ks 3 times in 21 starts. So
Not a lot.
that, to me, would be his ceiling. 8 strikeouts if he's having his best game. But, again, this guy, elite ground ball pitcher, second to McCullers in the majors at 62.7% ground ball rate. He's got a sub 30% hard contact rate on the season. Couple that together, I think he pitches well in this ballpark, ground baller. So I like Stroman tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he's a safe play. I don't think he's your highest scoring pitcher. I don't think Stroman's ever going to be your, unless it's on a short slate, but on a 15-game slate, I don't ever see Stroman being the number one guy.
Yeah, I get behind that statement for sure.
And then Mike Pelfrey, maybe.
No.
I'm not pitching him, but whether to stack against him or not,
Yeah, I think Toronto's waking up a bit. I can see it.
It's always so hard for me to stack against Mike Pelfrey, man. It is. Because you have to have the guys that hit him. So many times he just walks people, and the guy that you stack ends up with the walk, and the guy behind him hits the guy in.
He's a frustrator. Yeah, Mr. Pelfrey.
But yeah, I can't do it. Mets and Rockies, both these pitchers not only have been bad of late, but bad on the season. And Jeff Hoffman's been terrible at home. Game stack written all over here. Mets are a much better away team. Put them also in Coors. I like the lefties a ton. Conforto, Bruce. I like Asdrubal Cabrera as well. They're priced up though, even on DK. So I don't know that it's my favorite spot for the prices. And then Rockies against Steven Matz, LeMahieu, Arenado, and Story would be the 3 bats I look for in Colorado. But again, I think this is game stack, but you're gonna have to pay down at pitching to do it.
Yeah, I really like the Mets here, man. Feeling it. I like the Bruce Conforto combo tomorrow. Obviously, Rosario will probably be in this lineup. Interesting that they called him up when they're in Colorado. I wonder if he decides to stay on this road trip with them, or if he just goes back to AAA, which was in Colorado, or I think in Vegas. That's AAA team.
Yeah.
But yeah, game stack in Coors tomorrow, so definitely watch out for that and have that in mind when you're building lineups, you know.
I like a game stack here. I think this if you're playing an express slate, absolutely this would be the game I stack. But main slate, I didn't find myself going there for the price. You're going to have to severely pay down for pitching to do it.
Wow, home versus lefties, Colorado has a batting average of .314. As a team.
Home versus lefties?
What's that?
Oh, Colorado. Yeah. No, they kill them, dude.
As a team, they're batting .314.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. 231 ISO.
So
almost a 400 ISO. Or I'm sorry, almost a 400 WOBA.
That's nuts, man. They almost had 3 guys there back to back batting .400 versus lefties.
So, San Fran and Oakland. Second of the games in Oakland, then it'll shift to San Francisco. I'll be going to that game on Wednesday. That'll be fun.
The Battles of the Bay, right?
I got.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, Battle of the Bays. I got tickets to this Giants game, bleacher seats for $15. That's how bad the Giants are.
Really, that much?
That yeah, shit.
Damn, dude.
There were tickets as low as $6. That's how bad they are. It's gonna cost me more to get to the game than it is to get into the game.
I'd rather pay $15 for 2 dirty water hot dogs in New York City.
Isn't that the price of like 1 hot dog there though? Like, don't they?
Yeah, touche.
Isn't that you guys pay for like a rat and it's like $30, isn't it?
It's probably in there somewhere.
You guys have you the rats in New York City are fucking huge, man.
Yeah, you get used to it.
you fuckers probably have them as pets.
Oh man, Sean Manaea, Jeff Samardzija. I think fringe, probably 2 fringe guys for me. I don't think they're gonna.
I don't pitch
not where I'm gonna
guy.
go.
I don't pitch either guy.
That's
here.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
I could see it making the top 5, but I don't feel comfortable with either guy. Manaea's not been on a good run of late. San Francisco doesn't really strike out much. Oakland plays well at home. Samardzija, hasn't been reliable. So I could see why you'd want to go if you're looking strictly matchup for both these guys, but again, didn't really make my elite options for pitching.
Agree. Now this is my other lock. As you guys know, I literally only run 2 pitchers, and it is going to be Aaron Nola and Jimmy Nelson. Aaron Nola,
our boys.
I love him, man. He has been on a fucking tear. LA, not so good at home. They are better versus righties. And in fact, they have been decent as of late. They've been swinging the bat well. But Aaron Nola is just absolutely pitching out of his fucking mind. It's in LA, which is a pitcher-friendly park. I love this matchup. He's only 9,100 and 94 on FanDuel. I actually put Aaron Nola in the same conversation as John Lester on this slate. And in terms of price, I have zero issue if you want to pivot there. I don't think Aaron Nola gets any ownership tomorrow either because of all the aces on this slate and the pay options, especially on FanDuel. Actually, both sides. Lester is right next to Nola, and I think Lester has that name recognition that Nola doesn't yet. And he's in the late game. We always know about that. So I love Nola, man. Love Nola.
Yeah, Nola is on a heater, people. And just got to ride it. He's on his last start. He shut out the Houston Astros. Struck out 10 Houston Astros. So that to me is enough said. I mean, that was his last start. Now he goes to LA. I mean, it was a getaway day, so I don't know if you factored that in at all. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I like having Nola and Nelson on the same day. Yep. These guys have been our boys for probably about a month and a half now, and I'm loving it.
I'm going right back tomorrow, and then I'm stacking the Phillies, man. Phillies.
Yeah, Enrique Day. Phillies
have been hot. They are a top 6 team in the league right now. Last 7 in WOBA, 353, 210 ISO. They are striking out, but that's what the Phillies do. 27.8% strikeouts. So they're pretty much strikeout or nothing team, but I'm okay with it. Ricky Nolasco strikeouts have kind of come back down, and so I'm all over it, man. I love a Philly stack.
Yep. The only thing that I ever look at with Phillies is they're really bad against the changeup. That's one thing. Whenever I'm stacking the Phillies, I didn't look prior to the show, but I always look to see what. I don't think Enrique has a very good changeup, if I had to guess. But let me just look real quick. Nolasco. Oh, he doesn't throw it at all, so that works.
There you go.
Yeah, the whole team's in red.
Yeah, though they suck for the changeup, but
he doesn't throw it, so
we're good to go.
That works for me. Definitely think I'm going Phillies tomorrow.
And then we have finally Minnesota and San Diego. Jose Barrios, who's been in a rut of late, and Wallace Chacín, who stays dominant at home. I can get behind Chacín tomorrow, man. He's 7,300, 76 on FanDuel. Again, I think he's a safe cash play. Not ever a ton of upside with him. Minnesota doesn't strike out as is. So, again, kind of like a Marcus Stroman-esque play. I'm not comparing the two in talent, but safe floor, not the highest upside, will never blow the slate up. So, that's how I view him. And then Jose Barrios, I'm not fucking with the Padres, man. They are too hot right now.
I will say, like I was talking about with Martinez, another guy that's been in the rut that, we talk about baseball, all it takes is one worthy opponent to break yourself out. Him and Martinez have kind of been in a rut, and we've seen their upside. And, Martinez gets Milwaukee. Barrios gets San Diego. So you're looking for some guys that have elite upside against, teams as a whole that have been poor. I know San Diego has been playing well, particularly hitting home runs. That's primarily been most of their offense, but still been hitting them. I don't know. I think those are two pitchers that I think have some pretty good upside against poor pitching poor teams that strike out a ton.
I don't know, man. Padres, I just can't pitch against them right now, man. Look at their last 7.
Oh yeah, I feel much
Padres.
more comfortable about Martinez in that conversation. But I was just saying, I think the plays remind me of each other.
Well, they've been striking out less too, only 23% of the time, so far down from where their season splits are.
Truth.
So, all right. Well, to kind of recap where we're at on this 15-game slate, my top pitchers, hands down, are Jimmy Nelson, Aaron Nola. Those are my 2 top guys. I'm pitching them. John Lester makes that list. I like Jameson Taillon. And if I had to pick a 5th guy, probably Mike Fiers.
Wed. Yeah, I like Fiers. I'm gonna go in no particular order. I'm just gonna go price down here. Stroman, Lester, Nola, Taillon. Let's skip Nelson.
Probably.
Yeah, no, Nelson, and then Maeda. That's it. But I like Martinez too a little bit. I might jump on him a little bit more. Just gotta do a little bit more digging.
I feel it. And then teams I'm stacking. My 2 top stacks are Texas and Philadelphia. Other stacks I'm looking at, I like the Mets. Actually, no, I like Colorado more than the Mets tomorrow. I like. I think I like a. No, I'll say Mets and Rockies. I like both. I like that game stack. And then to be different, I'll go Houston versus Chris Archer.
Okay. Might as well. Just ride the hot hand, right? I hear you. I don't see why not. I like Philly, Texas. Philly, Texas. I'll go back to Kansas City. And I'll pick Colorado over the Mets as well. But I like both.
Oh, shit. Corey reminded me, Detroit. Yeah,
So,
I do like Detroit a little bit, actually. Righties versus CC. That is a thing.
CC?
Yeah, Upton, Castellanos, Cabrera's still cheap. I'm with you, Corey. I forgot about Detroit versus CC.
Maybe. I just know he's been playing well.
Yeah.
But that's going to have to come down, just like playing bad's got to come up, you know?
True. So, all right, guys.
Yeah.
We'll make sure to tune in tomorrow to the Lock Show. We'll be back again for that. Break down where we're going for sure with bats, what exact bats we're going to be playing. And,
Definitely.
of course, if you want access to that, join the community. Hit that link down below. Get that free 7-day trial, of course, so you get to try it out for free. And make sure that you get everything you need. And obviously, you get to view all the sheet or the tabs on the spreadsheet and make the most of it.
Yeah, kind of develop your own process using all the stats that we have organized. I mean, what you see here is only the tip of the iceberg of what is offered. So yeah, if you're playing DFS every day and you want to check it out, free trial, like you said, gets you access into the community, see what people are talking about, check out our Lock Show. Again, it's much more focused on lineup construction and player pool development and really kind of coming to terms with who we're going to play. So this is just a big overview. If you like what we got here, there's much more to be had.
Absolutely. Real quick before we go, Corey asked, as the New York expert, does
Okay.
CC get smashed?
Man, unfortunately, my gut is telling me yes.
Bet. There you go. That's all you need to know.
But that's a gut play. I got nothing else behind it, man.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, have a wonderful night or day, and we will see you guys tomorrow.